Greetings and various assorted salutations. What we have here is a relatively short unit, the 1960s and 70s. This is part 2 of an Era of Change unit in my U.S. History 3 course. Very short unit, just intended to give at least a very general survey of the unit so that we can get it all covered before winter break. There's not a whole lot of assignments for this unit. That literally is, I think, 2 days and a week, so very short. The first assignment that's due is Section 4. Well, technically the first assignment that's due is the discussion board, and then the next assignment is on Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, and Carter quiz. Let's talk about this first. So this Section 4 quiz, if you go into the modules, you will see that there are 4 short presidential biographies. These have some textbook readings, and a lot of them have like a short little video going over their biography. Who are these people? What did they do when they were president? And then you'll use that information to take on this quiz here, and that is due December 16th, which is a Wednesday, yes. The virtual student notebook is another thing that is due. That is due the last day on that e-learning Friday before we go on break. Basically, you know the drill. You download a copy of the virtual student notebook found here, and then you use the information from my lecture video, these various activities, the short bios, there's another resource list here, to fill in those terms so that you have a study guide. There isn't really a test or a quiz for this unit due to time constraints. However, the virtual student notebook's usefulness will be when we get to the final exam after winter break. Later on, you will have a foundation for it. Probably the most different assignment for my U.S. History 3 students is a discussion board. This is an interesting little activity that I've developed for this unit. I would like your first post to be done by Tuesday, December 15th. And essentially, let's take a look at it. You're doing 2 posts. You're going to view some different resources on how people lived in the 1960s-ish. And then you're going to have a discussion with your fellow classmates. This discussion will actually span all of my U.S. History 3 classes. So I don't expect you to read everyone's posts, but you will read some people's posts. To kind of outline how this works, there is a YouTube video that shows how Canvas discussions work. Do note you will have to post in a reply before you can see other people's posts. But basically, after viewing these materials, you're going to choose one of these topics here, just one. You're going to choose one of these topics here, state what your stance is or what your thought is, and take a few sentences to explain it. You should have about, 3 or 4 sentences at minimum, kind of stating what needs to be stated to fulfill that requirement. And then afterwards, you're going to post a reply to someone else's post. You're welcome to agree or disagree. It doesn't, your opinion can go either way, but please explain why or why not you agree with another person's post. Please keep your post school appropriate and polite when you're doing this, because, you know, this is an assignment and this is your fellow classmates, so treat them with respect. But there is a tutorial that I've made on how to do discussion posts. I would recommend watching that before you do the instructions for this activity. The due dates for this are relatively simple. You need to have your first post in Tuesday, December 15th. And the reason for this is it'll take some time for you to go through, pick someone else's post, and, well, reply to it. And then by the Friday, please have replied to someone else's post. If you want, you can follow the conversation and reply more than once, but you are required to do at least 2 posts. If there are any questions, I will address this in class, but otherwise, that's it for this unit. It's a short little unit, covers quite a bit of ground, so you'll come out with a lot of knowledge, but hopefully you won't feel too rushed in the process. In any case, until later.